Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is a Google Nexus 7 tablet, which is running Android 4.1.1, but there's a system update available, which would let me switch to 4.1.2, and I want to install that, but the first thing I want to do is make sure I can keep root access. I've rooted the tablet, I've installed a custom recovery, so I can make backups and flash firmware updates and so forth that way. But I want to go ahead and just use the automatic over-the-air update system. So I went ahead and downloaded an app called Voodoo OTA RootKeeper, which you can get for free from the Google Android market. And the first time you load it, you might get a little pop-up if you do have a rooted device saying, do you want to grant it super user permissions? I already did that, and now you can see that we've got a couple of checkboxes here. It says device is rooted, root permission granted, system supports root protection. I'm going to say protect root, and that should be all I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the system update and go ahead and install it. Now if all goes according to plan, it should reboot the device in a moment and install Android 4.1.2 but retain root access. And looks like we are almost done. It may be replacing the custom recovery though, because it says it's patching the boot image. We'll see how that works in a moment. And now it looks like we're about to reboot. Now the bootloader is still unlocked, you can see here, so that's good news. And really, once the bootloader is unlocked, I'm not aware of any firmware update that would lock it, at least not on something like the Nexus 7. Okay, looks like we are rebooted. Wait for a second for it to finish loading everything here. Well, it hasn't connected to... oh, it is connected to the internet. So let's go ahead and load Voodoo OTA RootKeeper again. This time it says that we are not rooted. We're going to hit the Restore Root button. And now it says that we're rooted. It says root permission granted is not checked though. So let's see what happens if we... okay, Super SU still seems to be working. Let's try an app that requires root access. Let's go to ES File Explorer. Has been granted root permissions. Settings. Root settings. Looks like we should be able to get up to the system level. Up. So now we're accessing files that you wouldn't be able to access without root. Let's go ahead and try and rename one. Okay, so it looks like we still have root access. And I should rename that back so I don't mess anything up. So that means that you can run apps like Titanium Backup or any other application that requires root. And if you do lose your custom recovery, you should be able to reinstall it using something like Goo Manager or the Goo IM Manager application here, which lets you install custom recoveries. So Voodoo OTA RootKeeper does work with the Nexus 7 Android 4.1.2 update. This is Brad Linder at Liliputing. Now it turns out that when you do that process of using Voodoo OTA RootKeeper and then install the OTA update, it's going to overwrite your custom recovery. So if you're using Clockwork Mod or Twerp or something else, it will overwrite it. But it should be pretty easy to go ahead and reinstall it using the Goo Manager app here. I'm just going to install Twerp by going to the option for Install OpenScript Recovery, clicking Yes, Yes, and now it should go ahead and download that and install it for me. Well, download it first and then I have to install it. So you can see here that it is installing. Oh, it does install automatically, that's correct. Okay, so that's it. So now if we click Reboot Recovery, instead of going to the default recovery, which shows a Android lying on his back with an exclamation point sticking out of him, we should get to Team Win Recovery Project. And this lets us wipe the device, backup, restore, install firmware updates, and so forth. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and reboot. But there you go. So that's the Google Nexus 7 retaining root using OTA RootKeeper when upgrading from Android 4.1 to, or 4.1.1 to 4.1.2.